Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to our January Akashic message, where I will channel the collective energies for January from the Akashic Records. As always, I invite you, if you're new here, I'm Britta, and I channel the Akashic Records. If you're not new here, you know that I always tell you to take what resonates and leave the rest. This is collective energy, so you might really resonate with this energy, or you might not. If it's not energy that you resonate with, though, I do invite you to pay attention to what's happening around you, because even if you're not feeling it, it's possible that your neighbor's feeling it, your family, friends. Look around in the collective. If you're watching the news, you might see some of that energy at play as well. So we're going to get started. I always pull a wisdom keeper from my Wisdom Keeper's Inner Guidebook by Dr. Rosie Aronson. So I'm going to share that first. And usually this energy does come through and weave through the records reading. So as I pull cards, I always do get messages. So the very first message that came, or the message that came through, was actually a message I got last month as well. And that was Peace Begins with Me. But then it expanded and it was giving me all these other words. Joy begins with me, expansion, light, love, it all begins with me. And this is a 1 year numerologically. And so to get this 1 year started on the right foot, it begins with me. So make sure that you're showing up in the best way that you can. Take action as it feels aligned, but there's also no rush because this is just the beginning. And I did pull the 50th Wisdom Keeper for January for the collective. And so this is based off human design and the gene keys. And this, for those of you unfamiliar, I know many of you in this room are familiar with human design. Most of you are, at least a little bit. This is all about equilibrium and its gift. In the shadow, it's corruption. But in the gift, it's about equilibrium. It's about being able to find balance really within yourself so that you can bring that to others. And this is tribal circuitry. So in human design, so it is all about bringing this energy to the tribe. It's also splenic energy. So trusting that intuitive hit to do what you can in each moment to find that balance and equilibrium within yourself so that we can show up and bring that collectively. So it'll be interesting to see how this energy shows up this month for all of us personally, as well as collectively. I feel like I was going to say one more thing. Oh, and I also really liked how it kind of, I saw the connection between the message that it all begins with me, peace, love, all of that. And to find that equilibrium within ourselves, it really does begin on the inside. And then bringing that out collectively, tribally, to our communities. So I'm going to open the records. I always do channel with my eyes closed, so FYI. And for those of you who are live on the gathering with us, we will continue on after the channel message. And if you're on YouTube, well, then enjoy the message. All right, let's go. Whew. The Akashic Records for the collective consciousness are now open. I'm calling in all of our collective angels, guides, ancestors, and anyone else for our highest, truest, and gentlest good only. And I'm tuning in specifically to the energy of January 2026. What energy, what knowledge, what support can we as a collective keep in mind as we move into this new year and this new month? That throat energy. Whenever I cough, I always know that that's throat chakra energy. And this has been coming up for months and months and months. Every time I channel the collective energy, there's throat energy coming through. So that cough right there is always a sign to me that there's throat energy that we are talking about this month. And yes, yes, dear ones, yes, this is a month, and it's been a season, many, many months, many, many months, and it's going to continue. It's going to progress throughout this year of using our voices to speak our truths, to create and craft the realities we desire for ourselves, to bring in the most aligned people for us, perhaps to have certain people who aren't aligned for us exit, to bring in all of the experiences that we must learn and grow from and have beautiful joy from, because life is, the challenges as well as the beauty and joy. We must be able to speak our truth. And there was a lot of throat clearing throughout 2025. Like every time I opened the records, there was throat clearing. And I am still getting a little bit of that. But it's more just like this is time to actually move forward and speak. For most of us tuning in, for most of the people, I mean, if you're tuning into this, this is collective energy, but if you're tuning into this, you are into spirituality, personal growth, mindfulness, releasing what no longer serves. So for most of you tuning in, you are very conscious of these ideas and ways of being. And for most of you tuning in, you have done the grunt work of that throat chakra releasing in 2025. And that's not to say it's not over. Our personal journeys are never over in how we grow. And yet it's so much more about taking action as we move into 2026. And it's not about doing everything at the beginning of the month. It's not about doing everything in January. There can be so much pressure at the beginning of the year to get it all done right away, but that's just not sustainable, and it's not where we want you to be focusing. But we do want you to keep in mind that this is the start. This is really the start of, if you haven't been speaking your truth already, if you haven't been really putting it out there what you want and desire, you haven't been showing up as your most authentic self already, and many of you tuning in have been in really profound and new ways over these past few months. If you haven't been doing that, this is the time to start. It's the time to start getting yourself out there, being open to speaking up for yourself in new ways, being comfortable with that discomfort, because whenever we do something new, it's a little uncomfortable. And this is where we're going to bring in this card. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. This card, Equilibrium. This month is all about finding that internal balance to bring it forward. And Britta mentioned that this is splenic energy, which is all about trusting that intuitive hit. And so as you move into this season, this year, this month, which is going to give many of you collectively so many more opportunities than ever before to speak your true, authentic, not masking like self. We have been living in so many millennia really in history where people have been showing up as, that safe, controlled self in public, and privately maybe they express things that they wouldn't in public. And as in these last few years, really the last decade, things have started to shift in that regard. And this year, or this month, this year specifically, so much more of that is going to be asked of all of us, to really just shed the masks and show up more authentically. And like we said, it's not something that you all have to start doing immediately. Like these take time. This is a process. It takes time. You are going to show up and stretch yourself as it feels aligned, trusting that intuitive hit, the splenic hits. When does this feel right to speak out? When does it feel right to share this? Because not every moment is the right moment. So trusting your timing and using this energy of equilibrium. The city of this gate or jinki is harmony, the highest frequency. How can we use this energy of harmony, equilibrium, and balance to speak out what is best, not just for me, for you, but for all who are involved? Because it is through this tuning into this energy of equilibrium, balance, harmony, that you can trust your message to land as it is meant to, from the highest, your highest and truest good. Not to please everyone, because we're not here to please when we are taking the masks off, but there are ways to have these conversations. There are ways to speak your truth, hard truth sometimes, in ways that can land with more grace. And we have when we have that inner harmony and balance within ourselves, we are more able to bring that outward. We're more able to express ourselves with equilibrium and harmony, and understanding that even if it doesn't please everyone, it is being said with the best of intentions and with the highest good in mind for all. It can start simply with trusting that intuitive hit. What is the best message which will bring the highest harmony? Not to please, but to just understand that the way we speak matters. And when we trust our intuition, and when we trust that the timing of our speech, it might not make everyone happy, but your delivery can support a more harmonious landing for all. So January, of course, is just the beginning of 2026, and 2026 is a huge throat chakra energy year. You don't need to say it all this month. You don't need to have it all perfectly planned out. In fact, if you're perfectly planning out what you're saying ahead of time, that is not trusting the intuitive flow of life. So we actually recommend you don't do that. But this is the beginning, and this is the start, and this is how you can ease into this energy with this very fast moving, intense energy of the year. Is going to be much faster than last year in many respects, with the greatest and good and intention for all in mind. Because speaking our truths and understanding that we don't need to be people pleasing, that we are not here to please everyone, does not negate the fact that we can also be mindful about our delivery. And that when we think of how our words impact everyone, now that is the real game changer. Not just in cultivating more loving communities and more supportive communities where disagreements are allowed and conflict is, I don't want to say encouraged, but understood, that sometimes conflict helps us grow. Because this backbone of equilibrium and harmony is going to change the way that we communicate and the way we view each other. And it starts small with everyone, each and every one of us who is willing to show up from this place. And that creates ripples. And we encourage you to keep this in mind, that these ripples do matter, especially if you are someone who feels bogged down by the state of the world at times. these small actions and the actions each of us are taking in each moment are creating ripples. And we might not see those ripples fully materialize in our lifetimes, but they are impacting the world for future generations. Oh, that was a lofty message for January. Whoa, but it is a lofty year, so we must start big. With that, we are going to leave it. We will see you in February. Much love. Woo! All right. That was a lot. Man, I hope and trust if you're on YouTube and you're watching the replay that you found this valuable. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe to get more. I do have weekly energetic updates that I post here as well as my monthly. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. For now, I have a gathering that I want to get to, so I'm gonna leave it at that for my YouTube recording folks. Get to the gathering. Bye bye.